Now, this may upset a few people in the industry, it may upset a few nutrition coaches, and I'm completely open to debate about this as well. Feel free to drop your comments below with this. But this is coming from my angle. This is coming from my opinion and my experience of 25 years inside coaching nutrition in this industry. And I see a lot in the industry of nutrition coaching in this style that I'm going to talk about now. And that is where basically coaches put out there 8, 10, 12 weeks of nutrition coaching, and you sign up for the nutrition coaching package. We're going to give you 8, 10, 12 weeks, and we're going to give you a meal plan. We're going to give you macros, we're going to give you macro splits, and we're going to give you recipe books as well. We're going to blast you through a nutrition program, and you're going to come out the other side and it's all going to be amazing. Well, unfortunately, that's not the case in real world nutrition and when you work with real people. And my issue with this situation and this style of coaching is you first of all go into this coaching program, you sign up for it, and then the first thing they do is give you a standard generic calorie amount. Now, they'll give you 1 calorie amount for 7 days, the same calorie amounts for every single day. Now, I'll tell you from my experience in this industry and working with hundreds of people inside my consultancy over the years, that very rarely giving somebody a single calorie target to hit every day never ever works. It becomes too restrictive. You have to understand that people live real lives, and when weekends come up, when occasions come up, when meals in the week come up, it's difficult to stick to 1 calorie number. Now, that is hard enough, and it can be quite overwhelming to do that. Even for a few days, it can be hard to do that, let alone for like 7 days and then the remainder of the 8, 10, 12 week plan that you're currently going through. That's hard enough. What's even harder is then when all these nutrition coaches will split your macros, your calories into 3 macros, right? So they'll go, right, that's your calorie number. We're going to split that into protein, carbs, and fats. And again, I can tell you from experience, 9 times out of 10, that is never ever going to work. It becomes too restrictive. Clients play too much mental gymnastics with trying to squeeze those calories into those 3 macro numbers. It's too difficult, and it's not the client's fault. They're just trying their best to get it into those numbers. Then when they can't, they stress about it and they think it's their fault, and then they just end up crashing off the plan and going back on the diet cycle. It's so difficult to get a calorie number into 3 macro splits. And I will be completely honest with you, for fat loss, performance nutrition, yes, a little bit different. But for fat loss, your actual macro split doesn't really matter. It's not a game changer when it comes to fat loss. It's a great idea to have a good protein target, 100%. And we do that with our clients here inside the consultancy. But when it comes to carbs and fats, it's not really too much of an issue. And I find you can give people too much to do and too much stress when you're asking them to get their calorie numbers into 3 macro splits, and it all comes unstuck and comes apart. So that's the first issue I've got with these kind of plans and this style of coaching. Then what you've got a big issue with here as well is meal plans. And again, I'll be completely transparent. I write every single client inside my consultancy a specific meal plan, not ChatGPT, a proper meal plan specified to them for their situation they're going through, right? The issue you've got here is not many people follow it. And I can pretty much promise you that absolutely nobody inside my consultancy follows that consistently. Just none of them. And it's not their fault. It's because meal plans are not set up for real life. You can probably manage them for 1 or 2 days, and then real life happens. Work's busy, the kids are kicking off, you finish work late, you have an argument with your partner, something goes off in life that's just generally overwhelming with everyday life, and meal plans soon fall apart. They are not a perfect solution to nutrition coaching, and they're not a perfect solution to long-term change and long-term fat loss. And all that happens with meal plans is, like I say, you can stick them for 1 or 2 days, real life happens, they come apart at the seams. And like I say, I write my clients meal plans. I know, I see this daily. All my clients use meal plans for, or sometimes I get a few ideas of what decent meals can be. If they're having a busy day and they're like, okay, I'll just put a bit of a meal together off what Paul's given me. But the majority of them just don't use them consistently whatsoever. And again, not their fault. It's just because they're real people living real lives. So meal plans are not a really successful way of going through a dieting phase at all. And then, again, what I also see with this style of coaching is you come into this coaching, you're then chucked in a Facebook group where nobody really knows your name. It's supposed to be community driven, but there's nothing really happens inside there. And the only reason you're in that group is so you can have the kind of weekly coaching call, weekly group coaching call that the coach then gives. And again, I want to talk from experience with this. Weekly coaching calls inside a group format do not work for nutrition. Like, they just don't work. Not for the deeper level. Now, I do just have to state this as well. I work very deeply and very closely with clients inside fat loss, inside my consultancy. So maybe I'm coming from a different angle, but even surface level, if you're just in nutrition, just get a bit of a kick with your fat loss, I still don't think it's a great way to go about it, because what you find in these group call check-ins is that nobody actually asks any questions. People are jumping in there hoping other people are going to ask the questions excuse me, that they want to ask. Because, and again, I'll be completely honest with you, in nutrition, nothing is ever straightforward. Nobody in that group is going to tell you if they've had a bit of a binge eating session at 10 p.m. on a Wednesday night because they've had an argument with the partner, the kids have kicked off, and they finished work late, and they've just buried their head in a box of biscuits or 3 bags of, share bag dairy milk buttons. They're not telling you that because there's a massive element in nutrition of guilt, anxiety, and sometimes a little bit of shame. And nobody in a group coaching, check-in call setting is going to tell you about that. So again, you can't coach it properly. You're missing the most important things that you need to be speaking to people about in your clients about nutrition, because they're not bringing it to the forefront. And I can tell you from experience, there are not many clients who, when even I'm speaking to them one-to-one, will bring that to you first of all and come onto the concept, I've done this. You have to coax it out of them. There's a tactical way that you do that to give them understanding, give them empathy, but actually help them. And in these group call settings, nobody's admitting that to a bunch of strangers in the group who are on the same call as you. So they end up falling flat on the face. So you end up actually getting summary, you end up getting a load of calories that you can't stick to. They're too overwhelming, they're too restrictive. You have 3 macro splits that you just cannot get right, and you're trying to get them to the gram, and when you can't, you think you failed, so you just bin it off. Then, you get your meal plans, which again are restrictive. There's not enough variety. Most meal plans on these kind of coaching programs, or there's no chocolate, there's no biscuits, there's no alcohol. So again, far too restrictive, not real life. You're then chucked into a Facebook group where no one really cares, and then you're given a weekly group coaching call for your check-in where nobody actually does anything useful in terms of coaching you, because you don't bring anything to the table in terms of what you're asking, and it just ends up being a muchness of nothing. It just ends up being like, all it ends up being from a lot of coaches is a money grab. It's like, get them in for a 12-week program, take some money off them. Then when it's finished, oh, what do you mean you didn't get a result? Well, you didn't follow the meal plans, did you? And you didn't follow the macros, and you didn't follow the calories. It's like, no, they didn't, because it was too difficult. That's your fault as a coach, not the client's fault. And it just goes back round in a big circle. I think this style of coaching, be completely honest, might upset people in the industry, but this style of coaching is a money grab. It's not deep coaching. You're not changing anybody's life doing that. And that's where I'm at. So yeah, I'd be interested in your thoughts on that. If you've been through a coaching program similar, and maybe you've had some results, let me know. Chances are you've not. I'd also be interested on that in the comments as well. So they're my thoughts and feelings on it from 25 years in the industry and working closely with people. I don't know many people who have got great results with this style of coaching, certainly not long term. So yeah, any comments, any thoughts, I'll be very interested to hear them. Drop them in a comment below.